Hello, and welcome back to the Mist Podcast. I am your host, Aeromist. Today I'm going to talk about my experience with 5-MEO DMT, or as many people know it as the toad venom. This experience is very, very different, and something even to this day that it makes me want to try it one more time to understand the experience itself, because I still feel like I have not been able to comprehend exactly what I experienced on that psychedelic. But it was compared to regular DMT was an entirely different level of what I was not necessarily wanting to experience, but what felt more productive for my psyche and felt more productive for anything to do with me spiritually, mentally, physically, just as anything to do with my existence. So it's also a note to anyone that is attempting to try these substances on your own. I highly recommend you just do your research. Know compounds before you ingest them. Please do not do things not fully comprehending what's going on. I can't, and no one can stop anybody from doing anything, and this isn't just for DMT, but for literally any other substance you put in your body, including your food. Do your research, know what you put in your body. Don't be uneducated about these things. But specifically for a substance like DMT, 5-MEO DMT, if you're going to take it in, there's precautions of understanding how not to waste any, all those other things. I'm not the person to tell you. You can go look that up yourself. But just letting you know that anytime you're trying to get into something, it's probably good to educate yourself. And there's a lot of misinformation out there on, not even misinformation. I feel like there's not enough education, so there's not really enough of really guiding people with some of these substances. So I think it's important to just throw the precautionary out there to everybody to understand that, know what you're getting into, at least before you start getting into it. Now, my experience with this was I tried a couple different ways of putting it in, just some of the blunts I was rolling at the time. And that experience is way different than actually being able to hit that substance as you were supposed to vaporize it. And massive difference. But the real thing I want to talk about is that experience that I have on taking it how you're supposed to. It's actually hard for me to remember. I'm pretty sure it was the toad venom. When I was putting it into the blunts, I could taste it a lot more, and the experience was never as well, I guess some of those I was putting regular DMT too, so I have to remember that. There was a time period a couple years ago where I was just trying to understand what's going on, and I wanted to not feel scared taking them, but I wanted to still understand and dip my toes in like a shaman and get the experience and just kind of get some form of detail on what I'm encountering before I just dive all the way in. Just the idea of fully letting go of your body and its existence, for me personally, is something that's a very vindictive feeling in an experience to let go. So my early starting points of dealing with psychedelics, this is all around the same time, it was very difficult for me to just go all the way in and just have this idea that I'm not going to be here anymore. And it terrified me in a very odd way, but that's a whole different topic for a different line of things. But to let you know that trying a small tidbit of substances, if you're going to do them, can be a very good way to let you have a small